What's up everyone, my name is Andrew Fung. Today I'm going to share with you how to do automatic web scraping with Python and schedule the script to run automatically on a regular basis with CronJobs on Mac. So I'll be introducing how the automatic web scraping will work and what is the task defined for today. So basically, my statement today is that I have a waiting list for my HKUST Hall application. So I didn't manage to get the Hall offer for this semester, but I am currently in a waitlist. So this waitlist will be updated every Thursday 5 p.m. So what I would do currently is that I will go onto this website and click on this PDF and check manually on my student ID and then find my rank, which is the waitlist positions. So I thought this will be a good idea to do a Python automatic web scraping and schedule this script to run every Thursday 5 p.m., which is the time that this web page will be refreshed. You can also find inspiration for different areas to run automatic web scraping. For example, if you have some item that you want to buy, and you can scrape the price tags, and whenever the price tags drop to the value that you desire, then ask it to send an email to you. And also, for example, if you are looking for jobs, you can also use this automatic web scraping to scrape this website, for example, software engineer jobs, and give you a list every day. So let me show you how the Python script actually works. Currently I've set the cron job to be running every minute, so whenever it reaches 00, it will go on to do a web scraping on the task, which is find the waitlist position based on my student ID, and then send me an email to notify me of my waitlist position, and also find the PDF through this link. And let me show you how the output will look like. So we just received a new email from the testing email that I've created. We can see that the subject is that your hallway list position is this, and then with the content you can find this waitlist PDF through this link, which will go to the PDF we was just seen just now. So this video is actually an inspiration for every one of you guys who wants to automate the mundane and boring stuff to free up time and probably have your time and energy spent elsewhere that is more important for you to take care of. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. So let's go on to a new tab and go on to replit.com. So for those who don't know, I've mentioned this replit.com before in my videos. So basically it's a online compiler for Python that you don't actually have to install any dependencies on your computer or anything. So let's go on and create the Python REPL. So let's title it to be a web scraping test. So essentially we'll be first creating the web scraping Python file inside here for quick testing, and then after we've made sure that this script works, then we will move on to our local computer and run the cron job based on this script. So let's go ahead and import some packages to be used later on. Let's do from Tabula.io import read PDF. So this read PDF command will be used to read the PDF online. And then import request and LXML. So this will be getting the request from the link that we've just mentioned, and then getting the response and parsing it using LXML. And then let's do from BS4 import BeautifulSoup. BeautifulSoup. So this one will be the main web scraping package that we will use to find the different HTML elements. Okay, let's go ahead and investigate on the web scraping task at hand. So essentially we will go on to this website. So let's copy this first. And then web scraping is basically simulating what we would do actually. So whenever we hit this website, we will go on to check out, please check this PDF file to check your rank in UG Hall application for 2021 to 2022. So we will press this link, and then it will take us to this PDF, and then we will search based on the student ID and then find the corresponding rank for this student. So let's go ahead and set the main URL to be the website that we've just seen. So this essentially will be the main URL. And then what we'll do is to actually fetch the response using request. So HTML equals request.get. So we will actually do a get request on this web page. So then we will see main URL, and then verify equals to false, and then we'll extract the text from that. So let's see what we get in response. So let's print the HTML. So it will take some time to run the packages imports. While we're waiting for the package to install, let's go ahead and see. So we can go on to Command Option I to inspect the element for this web page. So if you don't know, you can actually do right click and then go inspect element. You will have the same result. So what we will do is to find this text box. So let's go on to the shooting icon, and then we will target this. So let's click this, and then it will take us to the element. So you will see that we're looking for this element, this div called HKUST simple text, and then inside this div there will be an h5 class element which will contain please click this, and also the PDF link for the files that we will need. So we will need to find this element based on this tag. So let's go back to this, and okay, so you should encounter this error because Tabula.io is no longer supported. So let's go on to shell and do pip install Tabula-py. So that will hopefully take care of this problem. Okay, so let's run this again. So we successfully got an HTML response that is very hard for now to read because it's basically a HTML element without formatting. So what we'll do is to actually get the HTML tags using BeautifulSoup. So let's do soup equals BeautifulSoup. Let's pass in the HTML and then parse it using LXML. So let's print the soup and see if it's better. So let's clear this input, and you can see that now we're getting the div elements, the my school's name, which is the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, those kind of stuff. So what we will do is to find an element which is called HTML, HKUST, dash, it is called the simple text. So simple text that we just look for is in the div that we want, is basically the class with only HKUST simple text. So within this div element, we can see that there is an one class for this heading, so waitlist for a UG Hall application, and then h5, this h5 element is what we need. So essentially we will extract the link inside this a tag. So how can we do that? We can first actually define a text area, which is this part, which is this part. So we will look for this element first. We can do that by soup.find. Find, we will be finding a div, and then the class name will be equal to HKUST simple text. So we will get the text area element, and then within that we can look for, let's just go ahead and run this first to make sure that we're getting what we wanted. So let's clear the input and run this. Let's see. So yes, we can get the div element, and then within this div we should go ahead and find the links, which is text area.find. We can find all the links actually. So there are two links, if you can see it clearly. So there are two a tag, which is sent for hyperlinks. So let's find all. We're looking for A. So whenever you do find inside BeautifulSoup, the first thing you should do is to input the elements that you're looking for. For example, a div, a h5 tag, a link, a hyperlink element, something like that. And then you will specify the class to identify what you're looking for. So the class, so we will actually just need the href, which is the reference link. We set this equals to true, and then let's print links. Okay, so let's comment this out and run. So as you can see, we got a list, which is the first element will be the first link, and then the second element will be the second link. So when you take a closer look on the second link, you can see that the href, which is the reference link for this file, actually contains the last update date of this web page. So you can see that last update date is 2021 September 30, and this contains 2021 09/30. So this link will be what we need, and we can identify this by searching inside a list. So what we can do is to actually, for a link inside for link in links, if 2021 is in link href, then PDF URL equals base URL. So I haven't defined the base URL yet, but I will do it later. So let's plus concatenate the string result of the link href. So this we have extracted this href inside this, and then we will append the base URL because this is not a complete path. So we will actually concatenate the first part without the UGH waiting list. So let's define the base URL. Okay, and then let's go ahead and print the PDF URL. So I actually didn't define this outside the for loop, so let's do PDF URL equals an empty string, and then let's print it out to see if we can actually go there. So yeah, we got the PDF URL, and then let's click this to see if it takes yes. So we got the PDF link. Now after we successfully got the PDF URL, we can now move on to the next step, which is actually finding the waitlist position based on the student ID. So let's go ahead and define a student ID that we're looking for. So I can just go ahead and let's cross this out and just randomly grab one. And let's paste it here. You may see a red warning sign on the console here. So it's actually just an SSL warning, which does not lead to any error. So to remove this error, we can just simply import URL lib3, and then let's just do URL lib3 dot disable warnings, and that will hopefully take care of the warning sign here. And we can just change this to be f string. So the link is colon the PDF URL, and we won't be needing the links and text area printing. So now we'll move on to loading in the PDF that we just collected based on this link, and then move all the data inside the tables into pandas data frame. So we can do that using data frame equals read PDF, which we define up here, and that will take in the link, which is the PDF URL, and then we will read all the pages. So pages equals all, and there are multiple tables, so we can set this equals to true, multiple tables equals true, and that's pretty much it. So let's see how the data frame will look like. Okay, as you can see, after we have printed out the data frame, you can see the bracket sign, which means that data frame is not just a one table, it is a list of tables. Actually, when we take a closer look to the file that we are looking for, the PDF file, the Tabula will recognize after each page break, it will contain two tables. So whenever it moves on to the next page, it will recognize them to be new table. So what we actually need to do is to find out the column name. Each columns, the first column, if we see the student ID is within this table, then we will just output the next column's value, which is the rank for the waitlist position. Okay, so what we need to do now is to do a simple for loop. So for I in range length data frame, let's just print out the data frame I. So this would be the current data frame, and print out data frame I dot columns dot 0 to list. So let's see what we output. So we can actually comment this out. So you can see that based on this, every time we load in a new data frame, we're able to get a fresh list of student IDs. So you can see 203, 34, 603. We can do a Control F find here. So this would be the first one, and the whole list will be inside the first list. So This ideally should be the second item of this, yes. So we will just do a comparison between this list and the student ID that we've inputted. So we can do, let's cross this out. If the student ID is in this list, and find the current index. So let's set index equals data frame I. It's pretty much the same thing. Dot to list. And then inside the list, we know that the student ID must be inside this list, right? So we can do index. So this will find the index of the student ID. So let's put it in and print the index. Okay. And after we know the index, we're able to find the position based on the index. So this, for example, we're looking for this student ID. So the student ID have the same index with the rank, right? So we will just move one column to the right, and then we will fetch the waitlist position. So we see that the item is with the index 9. So when we count here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this will be correct. Moving on, we will just find the position, which is equal to data frame I. This will be the current data frame dot ilog. And then the index will be the one that we've just found. And start with the second column. This is 0, this is 0 column, and this is 1. So that will be 1. And then break. So we don't have to run the whole loop if we found the student ID. We also haven't defined the position outside of the variable, so let's just do position equals 0 for now. And then outside this, we can just print the f string position is position. Okay, let's see if it works or not. So ideally we should get to 35. We can also change the student ID to another one to test whether it works the same. So we got 235, and let's test out another one, which we can just randomly pick 207. Let's replace this to be the new one, and then run again. So we should get 523, ideally. Okay, so you see the position is 523, and we got the link as well. So now we have to move everything inside to a function. So let's do a nice little tab for the indentation, and then define, we can call this function to be find waitlist position. Okay, so that will probably return us with the PDF URL and also the position. Okay, so let's do it inside the function, and we can instantiate a main method. So if underscore name equals main, then we can do waitlist position find waitlist position. The link will be the link. So let me just print this out. Print the waitlist position and also the link. We are able to find them. So let's comment this printing and let's do this. So there we go. So that's pretty much it for this episode. We have successfully created a working Python script to fetch waitlist position dynamically from this web page. And for the next episode, we'll be moving this Python web scraping script into a local computer and run CronJobs on it. So basically, we will configure a new virtual environment as shown here. And whenever the cron job runs, send us an email notification based on the new updated waitlist position. So that's it from me. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. And by the way, sorry for not posting for a while actually, because I've been trying to explore different kinds of content that I can make on this channel to make it more interactive and educational. Thank you for watching and see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.